In this session, we are going to discuss the assignment for the poem A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. This poem, A Thing of Beauty, is an excerpt from John Keats' poem Endymion, based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd, was enchanted by Cynthia, the moon goddess. For the poet, beauty was to be understood and felt in the bounties of nature bestowed upon human being by the Almighty. According to John Keats, beauty never fades away, it remains forever, appealing and fascinating. It is also a source of permanent joy and binds us to earth. The poet feels that our pleasant and sweet links with nature sustain us through the problems and setbacks. They revive our faith in life and rejuvenate and sustain us despite the trials and tribulations. We are constantly searching for the meaning of life and the reasons for our existence. In this spiritual quest in the material world, and for this purpose, the objects of beauty created by Almighty come to our aid by cheering us. Here is the assignment with short questions to be answered in 30 to 40 words each and extract based questions. You need to refer to your NCERT textbook Flamingo and the video sessions provided to you to answer these questions. The first question is, what is the message conveyed by the poem? In this, you need to write that how John Keats, an advocate of beauty, felt that the divine influence of the bounties provided by Almighty, like an eternal fountain, help human beings in their difficult times. The second question is, you have to explain the expression a thing of beauty is a joy for ever. So you need to describe that how any beautiful thing will last forever and will go on fascinating you, making you feel good. The next question is, why does a thing of beauty never pass into nothingness? In this, you need to explain the expression nothingness and the reason why anything beautiful will never lose its charm. The next question, D, is, according to the poet, what is the main cause of human suffering? So you need to introspect and refer to the lines of the poem to find out why we go on suffering endlessly. The next question is, in spite of being hopeless, what do we do every day? It is the best thing of a human being that we don't give up. We are resilient. So what gives us the push? What helps us endure sufferings? The next question, F, is, what does the poet consider as an endless fountain of immortal drink, and why is it described as immortal? There are many things listed in the poem as things of beauty. So the poet has described that they provide us comfort and shelter. How do you think it happens? How do beautiful things provide human beings comfort and shelter? In the next question, H, you have to list down all the things mentioned in the poem that remove Paul from our dark spirits. So you have to pick up the things only mentioned in the poem. Question I is, what makes human beings love life in spite of troubles? What makes us go on? Why we don't give up? The next thing is, you have to list the things mentioned in the poem which cause pain and sufferings to mankind. The last question, short question K, is, how is the earth a source of life when all appears to end? You may find some of the questions overlapping, but you have to be very particular, read the question carefully and answer to the point. You can't copy paste all the answers everywhere. On this slide, you have an extract and the questions based on the extract. The first question for the extract is, why is a thing of beauty is a joy forever? Now, we had the same question in the short questions category also, but here you have to be very specific. You can't write 30 to 40 words answer. The next question is, what is the effect of its increasing loveliness? The poet in the second line of the given stanza talks about that a thing of beauty is a joy forever and its loveliness increases. And what is the effect of it? The last question of this extract is, why is a thing of beauty like a bower? Okay, so you need to describe that how anything which is beautiful becomes a bower. In the second extract, the first question is, how do rills protect themselves in the hot season? The second question is, what is the mid-forest break? You have to explain what mid-forest break means and how is it made rich? What makes it rich? Here, what do you mean by rich? You need to understand that and then explain. The third question is, you have to identify the figure of speech used in the last line. Here we have specified the last line. But in the exam, you may be asked to identify the figure of speech and name it. So whichever line it is in, you have to identify it, write it, and then name the figure of speech.